Okay, it's whatever. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, oh, God! What is that? Is that a 7?
That's an 8.
Oh shit! Hold on. That was a surprise. That didn't count.
Oh, no, it counts.
That doesn't count.
You want to try standing up?
That doesn't count. Hold on.
Come on, you should stand up.
I should stand?
You got things to do.
I got things to do. What?
Yeah. We don't get to just sit at home all day
Oh.
because we're experiencing period pains.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Let me try standing up.
Yeah, stand up.
What's Anna saying? She's talking shit probably. Oh.
Come on, stand up. You've got things to do. The dishes need to get done. The laundry needs to be folded.
The laundry needs to be
You
folded.
need to sweep the floors, mop the floors, make sure you walk the dog.
Hold on. Easy. So easy. So easy, chat. Oh, God. Okay. It's getting easier. Oh, Lord. Okay, wait. It's getting better. It's getting better.
Yeah. 2 hours later.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. Why don't you go get this other procedure done? And I still don't have answers from that procedure. You look like you're going to cry.
I'm not going to cry. Don't worry. I'm not going to cry. No matter what happens, I'm not going to cry. Welcome to
Couples Therapy.
In Disguise.
I'm Becca.
And this is Caspar.
And today we have Caspar hooked up to a TENS unit to simulate period cramp pain.
Yeah. It's an experience. Oh. Imagine someone like hearing this for the first time, like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, it's at the highest intensity level. And do you want to explain what you did to me?
What I did to you?
With the electrodes and the pads and the whatever.
So currently he has 4 pads connected to his body. He has 2 rectangular pads on his lower belly and 2 square pads on his lower back. And he's hooked up to a TENS unit. I tried this out earlier today and went through all 20 different modes to determine which one felt most similar to what I feel during my period cycles.
Yeah.
While also having my own cramps.
Okay. So, this is like a cramp simulator, though. Not like a pregnancy or period simulator or a child labor simulator. I'd be interested in trying out the child labor simulator next. Birth labor simulator. And what am I missing from this simulator?
So, while this can somewhat mimic period cramps, it doesn't, of course, give the full experience of a menstrual cycle. What he is missing is the headaches, nauseousness, diarrhea, general fatigue, high emotional state, irritability, food cravings. A lot of women often get food cravings. And then, of course, the active vaginal bleeding.
Okay.
Or like the experience of a tampon. Because that's uncomfortable.
Was uncomfortable.
To literally have a wad of cotton shoved up your vagina for 7 days.
Oh God, my back. My stomach. Or kind of, not my stomach. It's like under my stomach.
So.
Oh God.
This isn't a typically common knowledge to a lot of men.
Okay.
But tampons can actually poison you.
Really?
It's called toxic shock syndrome.
How's it poison you?
And this is when if you leave a tampon in for too long, because of the chemicals used in tampons, it can get into your bloodstream and it can kill you.
Why is there chemicals on the tampon? I thought the tampon was just like cotton.
It is not just cotton. It's processed. I mean,
okay, but what do they put on it?
Like everything else.
Why do they put the chemicals on it?
Probably because a lot of men are afraid of periods. I mean, periods do.
Ow.
There's an odor to it.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. It just like kicked me really violently. Okay, please go on. Don't let me interrupt you.
So, like, there might be, and this is not something that I know for a fact, but it could be like chemicals to try and dilute any odors. But again, everything is processed nowadays. And despite the fact that this is something women literally put inside of their body, that doesn't really stop them from using a lot of processed chemicals on tampons either.
What are the alternatives?
There's pads.
Okay, so like outside.
Sure.
Oh.
And it's supposed to absorb liquid. But they can be extremely uncomfortable. Some of them get really thick if you have like a heavier flow. So it just kind of feels like you're wearing a diaper, which is extremely uncomfortable. And not to mention both tampons and pads, they're a one-use product. You have to change them out a minimum every couple of hours.
Okay.
For women with heavier flows, it has to be changed out more frequently. So you use a lot during your period, and they're expensive. A box of tampons or a box of pads, depending on what, size count you get, you could be spending $30 if you buy both, just for, a short amount of time.
Please continue.
Yeah.
Let me just languish over here real quick. Ow. Oh, okay.
But they're not cheap.
Okay.
And when you use it, you throw it away. And of course, disposal is also messy. And also, it can be a sore spot for some people to see disposed products in trash can. Like I've read on AITA threads, like, it's disgusting. My girlfriend leaves her tampon in the trash can.
Okay.
Or like her sanitary products in the trash can. And like, it seems to be a big deal for a lot of men. How dare a woman not, act like a cat and cover up her used sanitary products. But like, I don't know. It feels like a lot of extra work when we're already in pain and super uncomfortable. And, we have to go through the act of actually changing it out. It's messy down there.
It's messy down there for me right now.
Oh my God.
It's like, I don't know what's up with this machine or device, but it feels like I'm getting new patterns of
good.
pain.
That's good.
And signals. Okay, so while we're talking about today, our topic is women's health.
Yes.
Or are there some misperceptions of it? Oh God.
So the other options you have, other than tampons and pads, is they do make a cup. I think a big, like a popular one is the Diva cup. I've never used a cup, but I know people that do. So it's a silicone cup that the top of the opening can squeeze so that you can actually insert it in. And then it's got kind of like a little pull tab on the bottom when removing it that you basically just the blood accumulates into the cup, and then when you take it out, you dump it, rinse it out, reinsert it.
Okay.
So that is a reusable method. So your cost is less than if you're buying tampons or pads. And then in recent years, they actually started to make period panties, which does the same thing that a pad will do for you. It's got layers of absorbent materials within the panties themselves, like they're built into it. And so those are rewashable, which also cuts down on the cost, but you will pay a large amount up front for the panties themselves. But it's not like you have to buy new ones every month. So I think it pays off in the long run.
Okay.
It allows you to avoid the discomfort of having something inside your already
What? Don't let me distract you. I'm just a woman having the cramps.
it lets you avoid having to insert something into the vagina when you're already in pain and uncomfortable and
my lower back. Okay.
How are you doing?
It's all right.
It's all right?
It's okay.
Yeah?
I think we'll be okay.
Okay. So you were asking earlier about peppermint.
Peppermint. Okay, so Turtle said in chat, because we're also live streaming this, why, so she had period pain.
When she started her first period, the school nurse gave her peppermint.
Yes. Why? Why peppermint?
So peppermint doesn't actually do anything for pain.
I know it doesn't. No.
So
why would anyone think
I don't know why the
would
nurse
do anything for this right now?
But Turtle also already told us that she did attend school here in the South in Texas, so that explains a lot in itself.
Okay.
But peppermints don't do anything for pain. So the peppermint candy itself helps with nausea or heartburn. A lot of pregnant women will eat peppermints because it helps with the heartburn.
Is that medically proven? Or is that just like a
that's self-proven?
Midwife's tale? Oh, self-proven. Okay.
I literally ate so many peppermints to help with heartburn when I was pregnant.
Okay.
So it does work. It helps. And it also does help with nausea. The other thing that peppermint is used for specifically in an oil is to help open up your airways so you can breathe easier. But it does absolutely nothing for pain. Okay. And if you want to test this theory, we actually have peppermints.
You want to give me some peppermints?
You want some peppermints?
Oh, I'm going through this cramp simulation?
I think you need to get them for yourself.
Why?
Because we have to do things for ourselves when we're on our periods.
Okay. I see how it is.
I'm just saying.
All right.
You want the full experience. You can't be catered to.
I've had the full experience minus the 95% of the other experience. But I will say, it's been quite the experience. Because, it's been quite the experience for me to undergo these cramps. Oh, God.
Has it been eye-opening?
Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, if we think about...
It's been something opening.
Oh. If we think about... Okay, so let's look at new moms.
Okay, sure.
So you do go back to a somewhat regular cycle after you have a kid. Mm-hmm. So you're dealing with this pain, actively bleeding. Let's say you've got a headache.
Okay.
Let's say you've also got some nausea going on, and your whole body just feels heavy and all your joints hurt. And your breasts are extremely tender, not only from the period pain, but from the large production of milk you currently have coming in because you have a new baby.
Okay.
So while you have all of this going on, you have to take care of the baby. And let's say it's a baby who's already mobile. So they're everywhere. They're into everything.
Okay.
You have to make sure that they're fed, they're bathed, they're not, pulling books off of the shelf or pulling all of your video games out of the TV stand.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to get the dishes done. And you need to make lunch. And you need to do the laundry.
Okay.
The litter box needs to be cleaned out too. You kind of slacked off on it, giving all the attention to the baby.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, the dog is also at the door whining. He's got to go, like right now. But the baby's also screaming because it's hungry.
No big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal. So
Your temper is not like your fuse is burning as short as possible. Because, you know, you're also irritable.
Do you get irritable?
Me?
No, just like...
Oh, yeah, in general, yeah.
In
no,
general,
women definitely.
reports?
That's why, like,
Oh my god.
the terrible shit that men say when women are feeling a lot of emotions because they're not being listened to, and the men turns around and goes, "What's wrong with you? Are you on your period?"
Well, like part laughing because of this pain. When I'm in pain, I laugh. But anyway, oh god, my back.
Yeah, so women you get irritable, and a lot of women, you either have a much shorter temper because you're dealing with everything else and your body is physically hurting, and that tends to make people a bit sharper tongue.
Yeah.
And then you have other women who cry at cat videos.
Oh god.
So
My stomach. Oh lord.
so you either just like want to cry all the time or you want to rip somebody's head off.
Okay. I just want to walk this off. Okay. All right. What is your worst medical experience as a woman? Like peppermint. I just don't understand the whole. I wonder if it was like a. I don't know. Like it feels like from a lot of people's stories, they don't get painkillers.
No, they don't
For a
make
lot of
painkillers for anything period related. And there's really not painkillers for when you're in labor either, because they can't give you any kind of drugs because you have a fetus attached to you.
Right.
Anything you have, the fetus has.
Right.
So the best they can do is shove a needle this fucking long.
What is that called? The epidural?
Yeah, the epidural.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a thick ass needle. It's not a tiny thing. And it goes in between the disc in your spine to just numb the lower half of your body.
Right.
And sometimes that goes wrong. Sometimes.
How does it go wrong?
So sometimes they numb things too much.
Okay.
And mom can't feel when to push.
So it's not a matter of missing the spine or like.
No, I mean
not
that
numbing them enough. It's more of a too numbing.
Well, it's all of the above. If your
okay.
anesthesiologist isn't, good at their job, and yeah, it can't be done by like your doctor that's delivering the baby or the nurse.
There's a separate, there's a whole thing, anesthesiologist.
Yeah, and so the way it works is while you're in labor and you have labor pains going on.
I think I'm going in labor right now, actually.
You have to sit up. You have to sit up on the edge of the bed.
Okay.
And you have to curl your body around your gigantic belly, mind you, and like get your back as arched as possible so that they can find the right spot. And you have to stay perfectly still while dealing with labor pains, contractions. But they can numb it too much to where you can't feel what's happening. You don't even know if you're really pushing when you're supposed to be pushing, and you have to be told when to push. And some cases, those effects, the epidural doesn't wear off for days after. So you can't get up and walk around. Once you have an epidural, you can't get out of bed. You have to stay there until it's done and over with. And then they have to remove it from you, and you still have to sit a little bit longer until you regain feeling. Because it's dangerous to get up and walk around when you can't feel your lower body.
Every time I drink water, it gets worse. I don't know what it is about the cramp simulation right here, but like, Anyway.
So the other case is the epidural doesn't do what it's supposed to.
Right.
And you can still feel everything. But you can't get up and walk around, and you've got a needle. It's not a needle at this point. They just leave like a cord, I guess similar to an IV in your spine that's, continuing to give the epidural medication.
Okay.
And you can feel everything that's going on. Sometimes the pain too, like if it's not enough, you still feel all of the pains of childbirth. And then of course the fear of your anesthesiologist missing and paralyzing you, which to my knowledge, I don't exactly know of any reported cases. But it is possible if they don't know what they're doing.
Do you think all men, oh God, should undergo what I'm undergoing right now with the cramps?
I think they should.
Why?
Because men even the men who sympathize and they don't give women a hard time for what they deal with. There's no way to fully understand. And even with this, you still don't fully understand what happens. You just see like a small part of it. But like, it's not just the outside of our body that's affected. This is happening internally.
Right.
So even this doesn't fully give you the right picture of what cramps feel like. It's just something to kind of mimic it. And I think men should have a much better understanding of what women go through, because most of the time, especially if you're not living with the woman, men have no clue when women are actually on their periods, because we have to go through our day as normal. We don't get to just take that week off because we're in pain, because we're bleeding, because we're sick. We still have to get up and do everything that has to be done.
Now, okay, I don't want to come off as like rude or whatever, but
oh boy,
like, should workplaces or employers or companies or whatever consider periods as sickness or something that women should quote unquote get over?
I mean, they already do consider it something that should be gotten over.
But I'm saying, like, from a medical / humanitarian perspective.
Probably more humanitarian than medical, because even the medical professionals don't get it.
Well, honestly, I say humanitarian because I'm going through some shit right now with the simulator.
I think that it would be a really nice benefit to be able to take that week off, especially if you're experiencing a really bad period. It would be nice to be able to take that week off for a paid week and just be able to lay on a heating pad and rest.
Okay. Okay.
And my pain isn't even as bad as a lot of women's. It's literally debilitating. They can't do anything.
I'm being kicked so hard right now in my lower back and below my stomach. Feels like I'm being kicked with one of those boots with a blade attached to it.
So a lot of women who go to their doctors to discuss the really bad period pains that they experience, most of them get dismissed.
Why is that?
You need to exercise more. Drink more water. Don't eat so much sugary stuff. Eat healthier. It gets easily dismissed. And then the women who do eventually get their diagnosis for the more extreme reproductive problems, it takes years to receive those diagnoses.
Okay.
So they live in this pain with no real sure reason why, like what causes it. And the bad part is that even when they discover if you have a specific, I don't know if you'd call it a disorder, like syndrome, disease,
Right.
just, your bad reproductive health. There's not actually anything that can be done for it.
Okay.
It's just like, oh yeah, this is what you have. Have a great life. There's no cure. There is no medication that
God,
actually helps.
I'm dying. That was the worst one yet. You're not even doing anything. I don't know why it's changing so much. Is this like my body responding to it differently every time? I don't really know. Because obviously I don't have like the same sensations or muscles as you.
And it's not always the same pain every time it comes.
Right. Yeah, this is probably this is very random. This one setting here. It's very, very random.
That's why it's more accurate.
Okay, so I think more recently it's been apparent that some things to do with women's health is overlooked a lot. I think, oh my God, John Oliver did a segment on heart attacks for female heart attacks. A lot of women were turned away, were told to go home at the emergency rooms because like they didn't detect that it was a female heart attack. And it's not like men, in those commercials.
Right. They like clutch
like
their
in
arm
cinema,
or their
where
chest.
it's like, no, it's like you clutch at your chest,
Right.
or like you just kind of like, you just kind of keel over. But women's like, they're very different. Now, but this kind of has to do with the simulating thing and also the period pain. You think it has to do with? You think women have a higher tolerance of pain?
I think
and that's why heart attacks don't seem as serious outwardly to medical providers, or is it just the symptoms are too different in terms of showing, or is it a mix?
I actually think it's a lot of both because women's heart attacks do do have very different symptoms than men's. So it shows up in different areas than it does for men. So that could be one thing. A woman who thinks she's having a heart attack goes in and says, "Oh, my pain is in this place," and like, "Oh, well, you're not clutching at your chest like men do, so I'm sure you're fine."
Right.
And they get sent away. But I do also think that women have a higher pain tolerance because we go through periods every month, and our bodies are literally designed to shove a human being out of a small hole.
Right. Oh God. Oh, my stomach.
So I do think think that women have a higher pain tolerance.
I'm trying so hard to focus on what you're saying right now. I am, but I just can't help saying something. I think I'm going to try to not say anything or make any noise.
Okay.
But yes, I think it's a little bit of a mix of both.
Yeah.
And I think there's a comment in chat that the big problem in medicine overall is that they mostly just use men in studies and apply it to women. Yeah, I've heard cases of things like that.
Yeah.
For not just heart attacks, but other bodily symptoms of sickness.
Yeah. And then Turtle also pointed out that you can go to your doctor and say, "Oh, I'm having abdominal pain." And as a woman, they'll tell you, "Oh, it's probably just period pains. Go home."
Oh, God. Okay.
So, I mean, you can't win when it comes to the medical field. Either they dismiss your reproductive pains, your period pains, or they blame other serious pains on the period.
System.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So there is no winning. There's no real education for women's health. Even even in the medical field, they can't accurately teach it because they don't know anything about the female body.
Okay.
They don't study it the way that they should. They don't get women in there to tell them what they're experiencing, and they don't take the women's pain seriously.
Sorry, that was a violent kick from this machine. Oh,
Are you ready for it to be over?
honestly, I feel like when we first slapped it on about an hour ago or more, I don't know how long it's been since before we started this segment of the stream for the podcast. I thought it would get easier. Mm-hmm. The longer it went on, I think I am getting used to it, sort of. But subconsciously, my body, I don't think, is used to it. And, like, my body twitches every time that device sends the signals through. Mm-hmm. Like, I just can't control the twitches and the muscle spasm.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some pain. Oh, my God. All right, so I'm just trying to get through this. So, yeah. Yeah.
So, I do want to know... if you felt this kind of pain every month, if you were a woman,
if I were a woman
who dealt with like pain worse than what you're experiencing,
okay, sure, like how much worse? Like 10,000 times worse?
Yeah, like to where you couldn't get out of bed.
Okay,
and you went to a doctor and they told you, "Oh, you're fine. It's nothing." How would you feel like if you were to be so easily dismissed by your doctor for real problems that you're having?
Do you want me to be serious here? Or do you want me to joke?
No, I want you to be serious. Yeah.
Okay. I'd be like, I would grab them by the lapels, like by their fucking shirt or whatever the coat, and be like, I'm in pain.
And then what if they just told you were being hysterical?
I'd sue them. Honestly.
But
why not?
Every system in the United States is ran by men.
Okay. This doesn't mean that there's medical malpractice not involved here at a certain point.
When we're talking about women's health, that's not really a thing that goes through.
The more attention is paid to it, obviously, over time, right?
How long have women been ignored for our serious problems?
I acknowledge that, right? Like,
where's
I think
the
everyone
change?
can acknowledge that. The change.
So much time has passed.
I think when we talk about shitty systems, especially the American healthcare system, it's shitty for everybody.
Okay, but
it's
like
shitty for women, obviously.
I've even heard stories about other countries with excellent healthcare, how easily women get dismissed.
Can you name some examples?
Not off the top of my head. It's things that I've read in the past.
All right.
But there's been cases in other parts of the world where the healthcare system is phenomenal, and women still get turned away and get their real pains are just dismissed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't think that your doctor not taking you seriously is something that you could actually win.
Okay, so I feel like
in a court of law.
I feel like I get what you're saying. I feel like at a systematic level, it's hard to change things, but surely, like you could seek. Sorry, I'm going through some pain right now. Oh my God, it's never ending. Okay, I feel like at the individual level, you could seek out a expert or physician or somebody who can actually. I mean, there are you know what I mean, like that can work with you,
and they're out there.
Yeah,
they're just hard to find.
Right, exactly.
And then you have the complication of, does my insurance cover this doctor?
Right.
So most of the time, women just have to go wherever they can get healthcare covered. Mm-hmm. Not even if your doctor is not going to listen to you, you don't have a lot of options. Because our healthcare plans are restrictive on who we can see. And then if you want to go see a specialist, you have to have a referral from your doctor. But if your doctor says your pain isn't anything that needs deeper exploration, they're not going to sign off on a referral. So then you run into that.
That's true.
Like endless circle. I need to see a specialist, but I need my primary to sign off on a referral, but my primary says I have nothing wrong and won't sign off.
Okay. So, kind of going back to the original question, how would I feel? Yeah, I'd probably be pissed off.
Yeah.
But I will also look for solutions to it as best as I can, at least at my individual level. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be tough, 100%.
I feel like a lot of women try to look for someone who's going to listen, but most of the time we end up giving up because we can't find anyone to listen.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. It's just getting worse. I don't know why. But like the pain is getting worse at this point. I don't know if it's because maybe it's like overstimulated at this point or whatever, but okay. All right. Do you ever like talk about the worst experience you've had?
No.
No? You just kind of like glossed over it?
No, you started talking about something else.
Oh, did I talk about something else?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. I think I just can't like focus very well at the moment because of this device. Oh Lord. But I think we got something. They have to do more studies on women to have the data to come up with treatments or better practices, and women need to learn to stand up for these to be dismissed, or find better doctors and leave reviews for others. Yeah, I mean it's a very commercialized medical system, at least in the States. So you gotta fight some of those aspects with like things like that for sure. Oh God, there are apps now that do things like that for the consumer or for the client,
right?
Or for the patient. You have apps. I think ZocDoc is one where you can find someone that matches your insurance.
Yeah,
that helps with a bit. Matches by area, and there are also reviews.
Right.
And I think people should definitely look at some of those reviews for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, it's getting worse. Oh.
I've lost count of the number of times he said that.
Because it's just getting worse and worse. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the water.
The water.
Like, it's just finally making it down there from me drinking it. And it's like, this thing is picking it up. Maybe I'm being like electrocuted.
Oh my God.
From the outside.
No, that's not how that works.
Okay, well. I don't have the answers here. For what's happening to me.
We don't either.
Well, okay then. Looks like we're in the same boat, kind of. Not really. But, yes, before I interrupted you, what were you going to say about your...
So, regarding women's health or just like in general?
Like for yourself personally, like what was the most like fucked up thing, you know, like I you know, you went in and they told you suck on some peppermint.
So
like
for me,
for you,
my worst women's health related experience was when I was giving birth to my first kid. I had a male doctor and he had other patients. I actually was supposed to go in the night before I actually went to be induced, but they called me at like 11 o'clock and they're like, hey, can you just call back in the morning and we'll let you know if we actually have a room available for you? Because apparently everybody in the town went into labor that night.
Oh. Okay.
So I had to call back at like 7 in the morning. And they're like, oh, yeah, you can try to come in around 9 and we might have a bed to put you in. So I went in, started the medication to be induced, which basically what it does is forces labor. Because I was already at 39 weeks. So, my doctor went ahead and induced me. So I got hooked up, started the medication. A couple of hours later, they manually broke my water, which is a very weird experience, by the way. It's like you had a very full bladder and you peed yourself, but you had absolutely no control over it.
Okay.
Like they stuck a towel up underneath my butt and broke my water. And they use like, it kind of looks like a sewing hook, to be honest, or like a knitting hook. You know, the
thing
knitting
that
needles.
use to pop your water.
Yeah,
or
like they
bubble.
literally stick it in and poke a hole in your...
Did it hurt?
I didn't really feel anything.
Okay.
It was just kind of uncomfortable. I had a catheter in, and because labor and when you have a epidural, you can't get up. You have to have a catheter when you have an epidural because you can't just get up to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
You can't feel your legs.
It turned off, by the way, if you want to turn it back on.
Oh, no.
See, I'm a good sport. I have a good sportsmanship.
You do. You do.
But, and then what happened?
So,
Oh, God.
I didn't get the epidural at first. Because I wasn't really feeling the contractions much.
Yeah.
But then we were like getting to a point where if I didn't get it, it would be too late. Mm-hmm. And apparently I started to look very pale and very unwell.
Okay.
So we did the
Like I am
epidural.
right now
No,
from
not
this
like
pain.
you are.
I think I'm getting paler.
So we did the epidural,
Okay.
which was a terrifying experience in itself and really painful to try and hunch over and stay perfectly still while someone is shoving a needle into my spinal cord.
Right.
And then a couple more hours went by and my nurse checked me
Oh, my God.
and she was like, "We're getting close. I'm going to get the doctor so that he can double check." So the doctor, she told me, like my nurse told me, she's like, "You're at about a 9.
Okay.
Do you know what dilation a woman should be at to give birth?"
13?
A 10.
Oh, a 10.
It's a 1 to 10 system.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. 10. Right now, I'm at a 13. Okay.
This is not
This is so
not a
painful.
pain scale.
Okay.
This is literally
The
dilation.
of the space.
Yes.
I know, but right now I'm at a 13 no matter
So
what.
women are supposed to be at a 10 before they give birth. My nurse had told me I was at about a 9.
Okay.
My doctor came in and he checked me and he said, "Yep, it's time." Although it didn't really feel like it was time.
Right.
Like my body, it
Yeah.
did not feel like it was time.
God,
So we proceeded anyways, and my epidural was a bit overpowering and I couldn't feel when it was time to push. So the nurses had to tell me when to push. My first, her shoulders were really wide when she was born, so she got stuck. So I had a doctor yanking a child that was hung up on my pelvis. And we get through the birth and everything, and I tore so much, he had to sew me back up because he didn't wait until I was fully dilated to have me start delivery.
Okay. All right.
And it was a really painful healing process. And I learned, so when I had my first, I was very young.
Oh, hold on. Wait, go on. Sorry. I'm just dying over here. Oh my God, it hurts so fucking much.
So
Oh God, why is it hurting more all of a sudden? I've had it on for like an hour and a half at this point, and it's hurting a lot more. 2 hours now? Oh, okay, I've had it for 2 hours and it's getting worse. For whatever reason. So please, go on.
So I had my first when I was 19.
Yeah.
I was really young. I really didn't know anything about the world,
Right.
let alone women's healthcare, because even as women, we're not taught the proper information.
What was your education like?
I had no clue what to expect.
No, like your
No.
sex education.
I went to a high
school.
school where the football coach was the health teacher.
I think that's pretty common though, isn't it? Like the
And
PE,
he
the
was
physical
he would
education
just like hand us a book, and
Right.
occasionally we would have to do like a worksheet to find answers in the book. But that was it. There was no type of lecturing. There was no type of teaching. Most of the time, we just fucked off during class. It was kind of like a free period where the coach watched over us.
Okay.
So we didn't actually learn anything. I mean, we learned don't have sex because this is a Christian town, or wear a condom.
I see. Okay.
That was the extent of my sex ed.
Going back to the whole gym teacher thing, I feel like that was pretty common, at least back in the day. I have no idea what it is now with these fancy new high schools and middle schools that they're building. But
back in the day,
it was always the physical education teachers that would come in. I don't know why it was never like a nurse or.
But this one wasn't. It wasn't even like he was the PE teacher.
Okay.
He was literally just one of the mini football coaches for the all male team. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was really young. I didn't have any idea how things actually worked. Like, I had no clue. I know I didn't buy one of those what to expect when you're expecting books.
Sure.
So, like, to the point where after my daughter was born and they got her crying and the baby's getting passed around to everybody except me. Yes, I was the last person to hold my firstborn. I was completely shocked when the doctor told me we weren't done yet because I still had to birth the placenta.
The placenta. Okay.
It's not just the baby that you have to deliver. When that's done, you also have to deliver the placenta. I had no fucking clue.
After the baby.
It does come out after the baby, but you literally have to birth it. It doesn't just...
I'm about to birth the placenta right now.
It doesn't just...
Something's wrong. I think you cranked it up to
I didn't.
20 or something.
All I did was turn it back on.
I know there's no 20, but it is painful.
Yeah, but my education was so minimal that I didn't know you had to birth the placenta after you birthed a child. I had no clue. And it wasn't even until I gave birth to my second that I knew how labor was actually supposed to go.
Okay.
Because as fucked up as it is, my doctor who was supposed to deliver my second one wasn't even in the hospital, at all. I never saw her.
Okay.
I just had a bunch of nurses and the, what's the word? I did have a bunch of interns at one point come in because it was a teaching hospital.
Wait, interns?
Because a teaching hospital, they'll bring in interns.
You mean
like the med students, residents. Yeah.
Residents.
I was like, same
interns?
Thing. Intern, resident, it's the same thing. Anyways, so they would bring in the med students for a teaching moment. So I had like a whole staff of nurses. I had students in there at one point. Residents, no doctor, and they just like let me sit. And even after I got my epidural, I could still feel things. Like I could feel when I was having contractions. Like it wasn't painful, but I could feel my muscles contracting. Right?
Yeah, I can feel that muscle contract right now. Actually.
And so when it was actually time for my second to be born, I was the one to like tell them. I was like, hey, I think it's happening like now. So they just like let me sit and let my body do what it needed to do naturally.
It feels like I'm experiencing what you experience right now as you tell me the story because
You're
of this
not,
video. Yeah, I know. But it's fucking hurting
because they allowed me to just sit and let my body do what it needed to do, he was out in like under a minute. Whereas Elizabeth took what felt like ages. Felt like ages for her to actually be delivered.
I have a question. Do you think, because I think we brought up this a couple times at this point, but do you think male doctors are better or female doctors are better? Oh, God.
Well, my male doctor was in such a hurry to move on to the next one, like I was standing in line trying to buy an ice cream cone, that he rushed it and I ripped so badly. And then my female doctor wasn't even there. So I feel like my choice is...
So, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I actually had a female doctor years after that I was seeing regularly just for women's health. And it felt like she really listened. She didn't give me any qualms about wanting to switch from the pill to the patch. But then I had some other medical issues come up and she's like, yeah, I don't know what this is. Why don't you go get this other procedure done? And I still don't have answers from that procedure. You look like you're going to cry.
I'm not going to cry. Don't worry. I'm not going to cry. No matter what happens, I'm not going to cry. Okay. Hold on. Apparently, according to some people, or some women rather, they seem to prefer male GPs, at least according to Anna, and they feel more seriously taken compared to female GPs. Yeah, I don't know. I think it just really depends at the individual level.
It does.
Not their like.
I mean, you
sex,
certainly
like,
have male doctors who will
what
listen.
kind of character they have.
Yeah. You have male doctors that will listen to you.
Right.
But then you also have both male and female doctors who very easily dismiss things you're going through.
I feel like I need to slide down to the floor or something.
No.
Okay. Apparently, Turtle had a health teacher who asked a teenage girl, "Why are you so ugly today?" and was shocked when she cried. What?
What the fuck?
Okay. Okay. I think I'm getting...
Yeah, so...
Okay, Pirate King says, I have a woman GP and she's the best thing that's happened to me. I broke my arm and my male GP says it's just sprained and not to be a baby at my age. Well, I mean, again, that sucks for sure. And it's definitely, it seems to me at least from multiple accounts, it just depends on the kind of person they are.
It definitely does. Women in general just get dismissed so easily.
Yeah. Okay.
They aren't taken seriously in many fields, not just the medical field, but it's definitely the case in the medical field. Women aren't taken as seriously as they should be by a lot of doctors.
I feel like I'm not being taken seriously right now.
I feel like seriously.
I feel like, well, no, I mean like other people. I feel like the people watching right now should be spamming, "Oh, are you okay? What's happening?" It's tough being a man.
Oh my god.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But yeah. Oh. What do you think? I feel like this is the last question. What do you... hold on, let me get through this. Okay, I'm through it. Never mind. Okay. What do you think is the most, like people don't understand, or men, I guess I'll say men, don't understand about women's health, or even women. Let's say people. What do people don't understand the most? What's the thing that has the most misinformation, or no one knows anything about it, or any of those categories?
Think that's so broad. Simply because there's so much that even a lot of women don't understand about their own bodies or each other's bodies, because nobody has taken the time to give things a name or a reason or symptoms, or they don't do studies on women's health to the extent that they should.
Right.
I think maybe one of the biggest things that the common people have the least knowledge about is ectopic pregnancies.
Yeah, okay. I know what that is. It's a dangerous one, right?
Right, where an egg can be fertilized outside of the fallopian tubes. And there has been cases where a fetus is found like wrapped up in the intestines because a pregnancy didn't go the way it should have. And in those cases, the women don't even know that they're pregnant. They just have abdominal pain. Mm-hmm. So I think that's definitely a big one. A lot of common people don't really have any knowledge of. And those are absolutely life-threatening for both the fetus and the woman. Because you can die. You can die from it.
I mean, you will die, typically.
The fetuses typically are stillborns.
Yeah.
Because they can't survive outside of the placenta.
Right.
But if the woman doesn't know about it...
Oh, God. It's getting worse.
It can also result in her death as well.
Yeah. Oh, God. I think, at least from my perspective, people really underestimate birth these days.
Yeah.
Not for the reasons you may think, but like, it feels like, I think everyone on some level understands that giving birth is hard and dangerous, but they don't really feel like, because it's the modern times, people think it's not dangerous. Does that make sense? Like, it's like,
they
you got
think
doctors,
that because
our
you got
advanced
technology,
you got medical science now. It's not like the dark old days where you got put into a wooden bucket and just gave birth.
And
right?
yet the mortality rate is still extremely high for these modern times.
Right. And so I think that's something underestimated, especially when people are talking about certain things or certain topics where a lot of people are looking at the declining birth rates in a lot of regions and countries. And a lot of the people, typically, I guess if Brian was here, you would call them key opinion leaders, influencers, or like the big honchos, right? Like, I think Elon Musk is famously one of them, where he encourages people all the time to procreate and give birth and get as many children as possible. But when you view it within the context of just looking at numbers, I think it's very easy to overlook the dangers of each birth. So I think that's something.
Sure.
Oh my God, my back, my I don't even know what to call it, where you attach this, my understomach. Oh,
just your lower belly region.
Yeah.
Lower abdominal.
So I think that's something a lot of people underestimate.
I think, and Strange just pointed this out as well, postpartum depression is another thing.
What is postpartum depression?
So after you give birth, you still have this high dose of hormones raging through you. And a lot of women experience postpartum depression. And it is what it sounds like. It is a form of depression.
After you give birth, you just crash really
hard. Basically.
Because you're so, like, your body's pump you so full of so much shit.
Yeah.
Like adrenaline and...
Yeah. God. The crash is really bad. And women will often kill themselves from postpartum depression because it gets so bad. Yeah. Or there's been cases where shaken baby syndrome.
Right.
Babies die from that.
Right.
And sometimes, not always, but sometimes it is just like the mother's postpartum kind of takes over and you have a baby that won't stop crying and you've done everything you're supposed to do and you still have all these huge emotions coursing through you and frustration that a lot of times the women will kind of give the baby a shake because the frustration, they don't know what to do. The baby can't tell them how to help them. You're dealing with so much and it can cause the baby's spinal cord to separate from the cranium and babies die that way.
Oh, God.
But postpartum is really bad, and it's definitely something that's not talked about enough. The men who are like, why aren't you, returning to your normal self?
Right.
They have no fucking clue what they're talking about. This woman just spent 9 months growing a human.
The way you looked at me.
And then countless hours shoving said human out of them, and then dealing with all of the backlash, the emotional and physical backlash from going through all of that. And a lot of women kind of have imposter syndrome because your body is completely different.
Oh, yeah.
It changes.
Yeah. It's changing for me right now.
Oh, my God. It really can take a toll on a woman's mental health, especially if you don't bounce back immediately. And then if you have other people on top of you asking, why haven't you bounced back? Then they tend to put that blame inward.
I feel like people keep constantly asking you, "What's up with you? Like, why aren't you, why are you happy like usual? Like, why aren't you smiling?" You would probably get more pissed off.
Yeah. So postpartum is really a big deal. I've experienced it. It's
Okay, it's
rough.
Someone brought up this random statistic. There's 32.9 maternal deaths per 100,000 childbirths in the U.S. I feel like even then that's a bit too much. Again, like when you look at things from a grand view with numbers and spreadsheets and statistics, it definitely takes away a lot of the humanity you should feel for those 32 or 33 deaths. Like that's kind of messed up. That okay, well. It's just 30-some deaths per 100,000.
Yeah, that's still a lot.
And each of those deaths is also a family member / wife / it's just
mother. I mean, think of
it's just still,
a couple
just because you're spouting a statistic,
right?
That seems like it's not a lot.
Yeah,
that doesn't lessen the impact of.
And then if you take into account a couple who was looking forward to this addition to their family, being parents, experiencing it all together, and your partner dies in childbirth, and it's just you and a baby now.
Yeah.
That's
not going to be a fun time for the baby.
Not for the partner either.
Or the partner.
Because that's not the life you imagined, but it happens. It happens every day.
Oh, man.
And then, on the other side of that coin, you have the parents looking forward to a baby and the baby dies during delivery. And that's heart-shattering.
I've heard that typically ends up, for the most part, in divorces.
Yeah, that is a common result to losing a child. Not even just during delivery, but at any point losing a child.
I'm about to lose a child right now, actually.
It does seem like it tends to result in divorce. And I think it's a lot of grief. And in cases, there's parents who, whether consciously or subconsciously, blame the other one.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm dying right now.
I noticed.
Not it was like a massage in the first 30 minutes. Now it's just... maybe it's fatigue, maybe it's overstimulation, but maybe it is a little bit more realistic that I've had it on for at least 2 hours since.
Yeah,
I'm sure when you're going through period cramps, whatever, your body's also overstimulated.
Yeah.
Does it get worse for you? Over the course of 7 to some whatever days?
So it varies from month to month.
Okay.
Typically the first couple of days are the worst, and then
I feel like
and then it gets
bend over.
It lets up a little towards the end.
Okay. All right. I need that. I need that bend over.
Yeah. That helps.
Maybe that's why some cave painting show childbirths.
Women still do that today.
By bending over and giving birth?
And then you have home births, water births.
Okay. I thought the best way to give birth was in the bathtub of water. Right? Because then the baby knows how to swim.
Oh, not this again.
Maybe not this again. Isn't that proven?
No, it's not.
What? So I heard this
That's
thing.
just in your head.
No, it's not in my head.
No,
It's been said by a lot of people.
You've said it a lot.
Because people have brought it up to me. And I'm like, okay, so if you give birth in a bathtub of water and the child comes swimming out, they don't have to learn swimming later on in life.
The child comes swimming out.
You know what I mean? Oh my God, my stomach.
We're not fish. They don't just come swimming out the same way they go swimming in. Not the
salmon?
same thing.
But anyway, okay, so why the bathtub?
Because you so soaking in a bathtub can help alleviate some pains. So during pregnancy, the baby can sometimes end up sitting on your sciatic nerve. And you can't really do a whole lot to reposition a baby in your belly. So it's really common for women to go soak in a bathtub because the water is going to help shift that fetus a bit, shift the baby around to get it to ease up on certain nerves.
I'm starting to feel that sciatic pain a little bit. It's going down my leg. Is that normal?
Yeah.
Like the sensation is now traveling
your
down my left
sciatic
leg.
nerve is what connects the nerves in your legs.
Right. I can feel it now in my legs. Okay.
So water births, they kind of give mom a little more support in certain areas, help relieve some pains that come with childbirth. Of course, if you do a water birth, you can't do things like epidurals. There's no drug intervention.
Yeah.
So it's an all natural birth, which I could never do. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, okay. Shall we wrap it up soon?
I feel like you're about ready to wrap it up soon.
Oh, man. This has been quite the experience.
Any more questions?
When are we going to do the childbirth labor simulation?
I don't think there is a thing on the market that could
There's
simulate
nothing on the
that.
market yet.
Right.
I know some clinics have it for a way to have the husbands experience what it will be like for their pregnant wives, or to like. There's a few clinics, but I don't know if any of them are in the States. I think there's a couple in. Actually, there is one in Amsterdam.
Oh.
I heard.
Interesting.
So, oh my God.
I do think that the next thing we should do, because we are approaching summer, watermelons will soon be very readily available. I think we should buy a really big watermelon and like some cantaloupes.
Oh, just like duct tape them? Like,
yeah.
Okay, I mean,
we'll get out the plastic wrap and
honestly,
wrap it around him. And then we'll go out and do some things.
With this device. You know me.
Well, no, just you want to attach this on top of the melons?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
I thought we were trying to go for the full experience.
Tie your shoes. We can go out and do some grocery shopping.
Easy. So easy.
Easy?
Easy.
All right. I'll have to also get you to swap the laundry while you've got a gigantic,
I do that all the time.
gigantic watermelon strapped to your belly.
All the time. Oh, okay. That's the end. There's no proper outro for this one.
Sure there is.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
Today, Caspar has learned a very tiny fraction of what women go through.
Nah, it's most of it. It's most of it. Oh, God.
Yeah, I think we'll leave this on for the rest of the night.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, thanks for listening to the first episode of
Couples Therapy.
In Disguise.